Hi there. Let's go on to part 4 and let's add another layer to our slide here, our presentation. Let's add another object and then send that object to the back. So if I wanted to put, let's say, something behind this picture, let's first add an object. Let's go to the top right and click on plus. Now you can see there I have several choices of things that I can add to my slide that's already been created. I can add media. That's the first tab, and what that is, basically, you're talking about pictures and things. I can certainly insert a table. Now what I want to point out is at the bottom of this page, see those 6 dots? That means there are 6 pages of tables, and I can swipe from right to left through those. All right. Charts. I have 2D and 3D charts, and notice again at the bottom there are several pages and options for you. Or I can tap on 3D and you can see what those look like. These really dress up your presentation. But actually this time let's just add shapes. Again at the bottom you've got the different colors and styles of shapes. Alright, so let's just add something. Let's just tap on the red square, for instance. When I tap on that, notice it puts it right into my presentation. Now let's manipulate that. So if I want this window to go away with all the shapes on it, let's just tap over onto our presentation somewhere on the screen there. Okay? Now I actually tapped inside my add animations, inside my bulleted list. So let's tap on and make sure that we've selected the square in this case, because that's what we want to manipulate. Okay, so if I wanted to copy this and then put a whole bunch of squares like that, I could do that. So let's try that first. Let's press copy, and now I'm going to tap somewhere else on this page. I'll just go below it. And then I'm going to select paste. So now I have 2 squares, so you can quickly paste, the same looking object all over your page. Okay, I'm actually going to undo that, so I'm going to press undo. Undo is your friend. All right, let's select that object again. Now notice it's sitting in front of. So when I drag it over there, it's in front of. And let's say I wanted to dress this picture up, but I wanted to put this behind. All right, any ideas where we might go with that if we want to send it backward? With the object selected, you go up to the paintbrush. So go all the way to the top, make sure that your object is selected, and tap that paintbrush. Now there are several choices here again. I can now change the color if I want it to be blue or back to red or whatever the case is. I can certainly do that here. If I tap text, I can actually type inside this square. Okay, and I can change the font and do all that and make it bold and so on, but I'm not going to type in it. We're just using this to put behind the picture. So how about arrange? Arrange, look at the first one there, move to back or to the front. So with that object selected, I can now take my finger and I can send this to the back. You see what happened? As soon as I drag it to the left, now look back here, I'm going to tap off of this just to close that window, and now look what I've done. I place that object behind it. So if I wanted to continue to manipulate it, I'd have to select it. I'm going to go back up. Okay. And now if I wanted to lock that in place, you could even press the lock button. And what lock means is then it won't be able to be moved. But now that we have this square in there behind the picture, remember we have the picture coming in first and then the bulleted list second? Well, now this square is just going to be there on the page. So I think we want to now add an animation to that as well. So with it selected, where do we go? We go all the way up to that wrench. And by tapping on the wrench, we're going to expose that list of tools. And the first one there, transitions and builds. Let's tap transitions and builds. Now notice we don't have a build in or a build out. Okay, so let's click the plus. I'm a fan of the dissolve. Now remember something else though. And it says 1 is the picture, 2 is the bulleted list, and 3, number 3, that's our square, that's our last one. That's the third thing to come in. So if I want that to come in at a certain point in time or change that, or maybe let's say I want that red square to come in with number 1. We go down to the bottom. Let's flip through these quick. Options. Okay, I can have it come with build 2 or after build 2, but if I want it to come with 1, how do I do that? Let's look at the delivery. No, that's not what we want. Order. So number 3 is the shape. So we're going to click on the right hand side of this and let's move it up because we want it to be with 2. Okay, so I move the shape up to number 2, go back to options, and let's have it come in with build 1. So 1 comes in and 2 comes in with it. Okay, and there isn't a delay because it's coming in with it. Let's just press the play button right next to the word build in just to see how that looks. And there it comes in at the same time. Looks pretty good. Now don't forget to get out of this animation section. You have to click done on the top right. Okay, so now we've dressed this up a little bit. I like how that looks.